The introductions we did today was the second workshop, and quite often we'd actually do introductions on the first day. We didn't do introductions on the first day this time for two reasons. First of all, it was a big group. We had 70 odd people yesterday in the first session, and we just felt it would have taken a long time to go around the group with 70 people, and it would have eaten up too much into the workshop time. The workshop today was a little longer for one thing. The group was slightly smaller, but most importantly we wanted to do the introductions really at a time where we felt people were more relaxed and more comfortable with each other. And at the beginning of the first session yesterday, they weren't yet a group. They were basically a large mass of people that didn't have those kind of interconnecting bonds and that sense of friendship, that sense of community, that sense of being cohesive as a group. So we waited till today. In fact, yesterday we gave them the brief or the mission of seeing if they could sum up one introductory sentence, partly to keep things brief, but partly because we thought that would be quite fun to give them that challenge of trying to say what they wanted the group to know about them in a relatively short period of time with a short amount of words. So we're going to take you through that relaxation series. We're going to travel through it a little faster this time, a little quicker. You know it, but we'll work through it as a little sort of relaxation structure. I'm going to take the rolls onto the side a little further, and we're going to extend that slightly to slightly fuller rolls. Then we're going to go into this idea that we did last time, but again I'd like you guys to push it and play with it a little bit more now that you're more comfortable with the idea, more comfortable with the space, and more comfortable with each other. So it's the points of contact that we spoke about last time, and feeling where the weight's going, just being prepared this time to maybe extend the range a little bit more, particularly with regard to levels. So don't be afraid to even come up onto your feet, to go back down, etc. Part of the conception of the project or the way we would work would always be, in one way, shape or form, to have a degree of allocation to feedback, to dialogue, for them to give an opportunity to come back to us with what was meaningful, what was moving, or just sometimes with younger children it might just be words, mightn't it? It might just be words that come to mind.
Adjective, because the importance is to bring out the value of the experience with the body, that otherwise maybe is stay only like an individual experience. No, this is a little I don't know, in Italian il pericolo, the danger of that is a intimate experience or a personal experience, and we are not able to see that can be in a context, a collective experience of a group, and so this is very important for who work in the education. What happens sometimes is that all these teachers, they do beautifully, as Judith said before, no, they do dance by their own in hobbies, but they don't bring this knowledge inside the speed and in the school. So this is unfortunately because they have already all the knowledge. They don't need anything, only to be able to do this connection that is not only an individual experience but can be shared. It can become a group and the dimension.
We're going to take a break shortly because I know we can go a little while now. I'd like to just do one final thing on this part, which is it's a little bit of a combination of the palm conversations and the work you've just been doing now. It's kind of putting the two ideas together. So using the contact that you've just been using, this time with both of you, with your one of the people obviously takes the weight of the other person's arm, and we practiced that as a separate exercise before we made it dynamic and went into a leading following type of exercise. It's about trust. It's also, more importantly, really about turn-taking, collaboration and cooperation. It's about establishing the rudiments of a non-verbal conversation, where there are times in the way in which the people move together. There are clear times where one person's leading, and there are clear times where those roles where a person follows. And so it's really to do with that sense of turn-taking, being sensitive to the other person when it is your turn even to lead, not sort of bossing the other person, but trying to work in harmony, trying to work sensitively with the person, and to know when the point is to sense and to feel when the point is where the change occurs, where the leader becomes the follower and the follower becomes the leader. And it's also, because of the prerequisite of the physical contact, it means that two people are also moving quite closely together. They're kind of in each other's personal space, really. So it can be quite a powerful experience for the people to do.
So the idea is to do something in connection with this. Can be the form. So it can be, if this is the form, maybe, I don't know, it can be something like simple, no? Like an answer to this. Or can be an answer to the dynamic that was before this. So you don't have to think too much. You have to answer to what you see. And go ahead. No, and the thing is that the person who talked before stop, give the possibility to the other to come and say something, and then the person who did the first go back and somebody else come. So everybody can, all the group can.
So there's only two in the middle at once.
I think we can start with this, that is more clear. Otherwise, normally we do it also in big group, but I think it's more clear to start with.
And it doesn't, another important thing is you don't have to kind of take, it's not a case of being your turn. So it doesn't have to go, I go, and I go. It's much more, it's much more you go when you feel it. So if you feel an impetus, like, go. Yeah. And that's something that we'll talk about later, because that's
so when
that's
the
really
person
important.
in the middle's movement speaks to you, you go in.
Yeah, wait for them to conclude their actual, literally dynamic moving part and come to a sort of rest. And then if you just feel something, and you shouldn't even know what you're going to do. It's not about knowing, you haven't got enough time to figure out what you're going to do in terms of the choreography. It's just like something that you feel, and just have the confidence to go with that impulse.
We were talking about the improvisation part. That is, I think, a very important training for the teacher, because it's something that happens always during the daily life. So something go on and you have to react at what is if you see this in a kind of performative act moment. Now we was talking about this participatory dance, where always there is a time, space where action are in relation each other. So you need to be able to react and to be conscious about this. So this is a little why we use so much these improvisation tools. And
another element of it as well, which we feel is important, is in a free improvisation like that, where it's not entirely free. It's obviously it's an improvisation within a structure, so there's a degree of safety for the people that are participating. But certainly one of the parts that isn't structured is when people enter into the action space, if you like, or the performance space. And to some degree when they leave, although in that particular structure the leaving part was kind of was sort of set. So what you often find is that people are almost twitching on the outside. You can see that they've got a basic impulse to enter the space, to join in, to contribute. They feel they've got something to give. They maybe feel excited. They want to contribute something to it. And then often you see a stutter. It's like there's a sort of self-regulating break that kind of like steps in, which you just know that they wouldn't have had when they were a child, and you don't see in children. It's one of the lovely things when you working with children of up to quite a large age, not just small children, that they're very free with that. They're very connected to when they feel those impulses, and they're very emboldened, or they're very liberated to be able to act on them without any sort of conscious censoring of that. So I think
the opposite, that you have to give a structure to give the rules to participate, otherwise everybody's inside the center.
So yeah, it is in some ways it is the opposite. So particularly people that are working with children, teachers and so forth, I think it's important that they feel that moment, even if they don't overcome it, they feel it, and they have an understanding of it a little bit more firsthand through their own experience. So I think for me that's another important part about those improvisational exercises.
Today, really, they had the ability to evolve from yesterday and to add more elements. So, in a way, we grow up on this.
Absolutely, yeah. The other important thing about the reflections of the group is that not necessarily on everything we do we stop and have people's thoughts and feedback, but on certain exercises we think are very important, we tend to allow that time. And there were the last two exercises we did yesterday, trust circle exercise and a palm tracing, palm conversation exercise. They're both they bring out quite a lot of feelings in people usually, and we felt it was important that people had the opportunity to give that feedback. The other thing, of course, behind feedback really, which is the principal thing for me, is that, I mean, we had 50 or 60 people in there. A lot of those people have been teaching well into two figures in terms of the years of experience that they've got. So you're literally looking at the combined experience of the group being in the hundreds of years. And we always are very humbled by that and very appreciative of that, and very aware that we're just really a very small part of a huge amount of experience and knowledge. And we feel that part of our job as facilitators is not just to articulate and present our agenda in terms of the exercises and the work we want to go through, but also wherever possible to give the group a chance to sort of cross-pollinate and share their knowledge and their insights, not only with each other but with us. So that's an integral part of the way in which we work, and we felt that was important to allocate time to.
Did a lot of this, a lot. We were very surprised how much they share thoughts about what they're feeling.